So, okay.
All right.
On the table, I have Miss Annie Lederman.
It's Lederman.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Lederman. But
What? Oh,
all right, it's
okay.
pronounced Lederman. But then my dad told me recently that my grandfather pronounced it Lederman.
Okay.
But my dad everyone always called it Letterman. And he's like, I think it's supposed to be pronounced Letterman. So then he changed it, and then David Letterman came out with 2 T's. And he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, now everyone says Lederman. So I've been living a lie my whole life.
It happens. We all have.
But I just go by Letterman because that's what it's always been for me.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, I don't care.
We could totally edit that part out.
No, you
So
don't.
on the table, I have Annie Lederman.
This bitch.
This-
If only you knew what she did before this was edited.
All right. Have you ever had a massage before?
Yes. I've had
Okay.
so many massages.
This is exciting.
I need one so bad right now, too.
Now, any problem spots you want me to focus on? Do you want me to just
Well,
Easter egg hunt?
My, I thought you said Easter egg cunt. I was like, that's interesting.
Agree.
It's where you shout, you douche me?
Yeah, that's a happy ending at the end.
Now, all of what you're doing, that area is sore.
Okay.
My traps and shit. And my neck always hurts, like TMJ, so.
Oh,
But, right now I'm having problems with my inner knee.
okay.
And because my hips and my glutes and my IT band are all fucked up.
Okay.
And I think it's because my theory is, well, one, my hips are tight, maybe my lower back is tight.
Yeah.
I do yoga a lot. But also I think I have high arches, and I think my arches collapse in, and they're pulling the inside of my knees caps down.
That makes sense.
Is my guess.
Do you ever roll with like the foam roller?
I do.
Okay.
I've been trying to. I got one of those sticks, the roller sticks too. And that's been helping a little bit, but I'm trying to. I just got like the dorkiest flip-flops you can see over there, because they're so comfortable and they support my arches.
There you go. I'm a flip-flop person all the way.
You gotta get this type.
Okay. I'll look at
They're
it.
literally unbelievable. I can't remember what the name of it is, so sorry, listeners.
Ha ha.
We'll put
But
them
it's
in
like
the show
all
notes.
shoes are just destroying my knees, and it's so annoying. Cause I'm like, I'm gonna have to wear like fucking short bus shoes. No offense. I gotta
To
have
all my short
Velcros.
bus listeners.
To all the short bus listeners.
I have so many of them. Actually, I have no idea what I have, so I might.
I don't know.
They play me on the way to school in their little short bus. You're Canadian. Do you know what a short bus is?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
All our buses are short. We don't have enough people to have big ones. No,
That's
that's
so
not
funny.
true.
And you said you hike a lot too,
I
right?
do. So I haven't been hiking because of my knees. I want to get better insoles for my shoes before I start hiking again.
Okay. And when you roll out, make sure you pay like special attention to your quads, because when your quads tighten up, it does pull the kneecap off.
I know. I've been working on my inner thigh a lot too.
I bet you have, you dirty
Oh
girl.
yeah. I'm fucking riding that rollout thing. That roller, just get on it.
You could totally do a webcam series and never have to work a day in your life.
I know. Let the internet be my sugar daddy.
Yes.
Annie and the rollout.
I'm so like, we were just talking about sugar daddies before this thing, we started recording. And I'm like, fuck that. And then I'm like, as I get older, I'm like, maybe I should have reconsidered.
I don't think
You're like in there sort of.
The only sugar daddy I have is the candy. Yeah. Fat girls don't get sugar daddies. It just
No.
doesn't
That's not
happen.
true.
Well, this fat girl. Damn it.
You gotta go to the Bronx.
You're going to the wrong parties, Joy.
Always. Always have. Now, have you ever broken anything?
I broke my 5th metatarsal in my foot 3 times.
3 times.
Oh.
Once when I was, I crawled out of my crib. I was 18 months old.
Oh.
I crawled out of my crib. My mom was probably like staring at a wall. She was in a room just looking at herself in a mirror. Not thinking about her kids. But, no, I have a twin brother, and I guess I probably I imagine myself just using his shoulders and just hoisting myself out of the
I
game.
was gonna say the two
Like
of
the
you
Rugrats,
escaping.
you know?
Yeah, just the two of you
Ladder.
escaping.
Yeah. And so I fell in my crib and broke. Oh, that was my arm actually. I broke my. First time I broke my foot. Sorry, I broke my arm twice. That was the first time I broke my arm, and then the second time I broke my arm was when I was 4. I was climbing on a banister in preschool, and I fell off. They were like, "Don't climb on the banister, whatever you do." And I was
You're
like,
all climb on the banister?
I was like, "Bye, bitches!" Like immediately climbing on the banister, fell off, broke my arm, and then so my foot. The first time I broke it was in a car accident when I was 12, and I was in 7th grade or 6th grade, I think. I can't remember which one. And I guess 6th grade. And I was a swimmer, and my mom and my neighbors and their kids were a part of the swim team that was training for the Junior Olympics. So it was at a school that was like an hour and a half away. So they would wake up really early and drive in the morning and train, and then drive in the afternoon after school and like do their homework on the way. So I was looking into that, going to visit that. I had gone to one swim practice there, and then my mom was coming to check it out and talk to the coaches and stuff. And so my neighbor was driving, and then my mom was in the front seat, I was in the middle in the back, and then Bart, my one neighbor, was on my right, and then Vera was on my left. And
Their
a drug
parents.
What's that?
Their parents named them Bart and Vera.
Well, they're 2 different neighbors, so they were different
Okay.
families. Bart's sister's name was Allie, so it wasn't. They
So
didn't have
he
2
was
crazy names.
He was the outlier.
Barton was his name. Barton.
Barton. Okay.
And then I can't remember what Vera's siblings' names were, but they were cooler names. They were more kooky. But so there was a drunk driver. It was like maybe like 4:30. Like we were getting out of school, and there was a drunk driver. She was in a minivan. She didn't have her kids with her. She was going to pick up her kids,
Oh.
and she just went into the other lane and just hit us head on.
Oh my goodness.
And I guess I think my foot maybe got caught on the strap of my book bag, I think. And I somehow twisted it and broke my 5th metatarsal. And then Bart, the window collapsed onto his face and slit his eyelid open, and it was fucking crazy. And Vera and I were like laughing uncontrollably because we were in shock, and we like could not believe we're looking at this fucking eye. He's like, "Does it look bad?" And we're like, "Yes, dude." Oh my god. It's the worst. And my mom had hit her chest. I remember it was really scary because she had to get put in like a neck brace. I think they put all of us in neck braces actually. And we had to go to the ambulance. And then Marcia, the driver, she got.
These are fantastic names. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I don't mean to interrupt,
It's
but
like you
holy
wrote a
shit.
story. You made up
I
names.
know, I wish. I would have a very different life if I didn't get in an accident on the way to that swim practice. But anyway, so she, the driver, my neighbor, she got the steering wheel and everything collapsed in on her, and so they had to get the jaws of life and like pull her out the top of the car. She was trapped in there for a while. It was really scary. And I remember they cut my socks off, but I had stolen my older brother's socks. And I was like, "He's gonna kill me." And they're like, "He's gonna be all right with it." And I was like, "Well, he was pissed, so you guys were wrong." No, I don't think he was mad, but so then I ended up not, I stopped doing sports, and I ended up like smoking cigarettes and kissing boys and shit. So I always think about that. I'm like, wow, if I had broken my foot, I could be really masculine in build. I could have the broadest shoulders and the thickest neck and be a swimming butterfly right now. I mean, I'm sure I would have quit for some other reason, but it's just like the training to get back in was like, I'm over it.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
I was like into boys.
Yeah.
And so then I broke my foot when I was 14. I was a little bit of a juvenile delinquent, and my parents sent me. You're so stupid. I had this cousin, she was I don't even know how she was my cousin, but she was related and removed and somebody's cousin somewhere along the line. She was in her 60s, I think.
Okay.
So she was older, and she lived in the Virgin Islands on St. Croix. She was the district attorney there, Candia.
Is that where LaCroix comes from?
I don't know. It
So
might.
stupid.
Honestly, it might. No, but it honestly might. I think about it every time I see it.
Okay.
It's La Croix.
La Croix. Oh, it's French.
It's French.
Yeah, we're wrong. We're idiots. But the Virgin Islands, I mean, La Croix, the Virgin St. Croix is. It's not one of the. It's a U.S. Virgin Island, but anyway. All right. Or are they British Virgin? I don't fucking know. But anyway, so. I know that one is a U.S. one, but so she came to visit, and she like thought I was fun. She liked that I was like outspoken and a little troublemaker, and she's all cocky. She goes to my mom like, "Oh, I'll take her for a couple weeks in the summer for like 3 weeks. Send her to me." So they send me to the fucking Virgin Islands. I'm 14. I'm already drinking and fucking and like smoking cigarettes and shit. And so they send me to a tropical paradise, and I meet all these like local kids, and we're just having a blast. And I met this girl Roxanne, who was from Texas, but her dad lived in the Virgin Islands, so she would spend the summers there. And her dad was like such a drunk, like I think he was a scuba instructor or something. And he, I remember him pinching my ass and stuff. Like, he was gross, man.
Ew.
It's gross. I mean, my parents never watched me, and just every grown-up that wanted to fucking diddle just came right over to me.
Yeah.
My parents were like, "Do you want to take her?" I'm like, "I think they're going to molest me, Mom."
Like, you need to parent more. What are you doing?
Yeah, they really let me loose. It was really not good for me, but in the end, I get to be a comedian, so you get to get diddled by a few adults, and here you are. But getting a fucking massage.
There you go.
Free goddamn massage. But so he was like buying us alcohol and shit, so we were hammered with him. His name was Gary, I think. And
As all good weird parents are.
yeah, exactly. So we get hammered, and then I end up falling down the stairs just sloppy drunk. I remember we were drinking Lucky Strikes. And in the Virgin Islands. I mean, it was awesome, you know. And so I break my foot, and I remember she was making me take sailing classes, and I was like, "Bitch, my foot is, I can't walk." She like didn't believe me. I was like, "I'm really." And they took me to the doctor, like, "Oh no, you fractured your fifth metatarsal." So then I got a cast, and then my friends were like taking me around and through the rainforest and shit on their backs. It was so fun. I had a great time climbing up and picking me mangoes and shit. And then Candy, I'd had enough. So this was like a weekend of my 3-week trip. Then she just sent me home. She like, I woke up one morning. She was like, "You're going home now." And I was like, "Alright." And she was like, "You kept leaving my door unlocked." And I was like, "Lady, I am drunk." I was in a blackout. I don't remember what the fuck I did.
Girl, if that's the worst idea,
I'm like, the door was on. I'm like, I don't remember even coming through the doors.
I'm in the house. Let's just be happy about that.
Right, so she sent me home. And then, I don't remember what happened in the end with my foot, but it eventually healed. And then, I broke my foot when I was in my early 20s in college, or when I was living in Santa Fe. I think I was out of college by then. But I was in the Pecos Woods, driving back from some like cabin I think we were camping in. And I was with like my ex-boyfriend, this other dude, and we stopped to pee in the woods on the highway. And I remember my ex-boyfriend Zeb, this like giant dude, was taking a piss, and I thought it would be funny if I pushed him into the woods, bare dick, into the twigs. In my head, for some reason, I was like, this is going to be so funny.
This is it.
So I push him, but he's like 6'4", you know, and like a sturdy dude, and he was just like, didn't move at all, and he just looked at me like, with this look of like, were you just going to push me bare dick into like, I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I did that, whatever. Like, anyway, I gotta pee, see ya. And I like jump into the woods, I squat and I pee, and there's no splashback, like no pee gets on me, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm like, awesome, I didn't have any splashback. Then I pull my underwear back up, and I leap triumphantly out of the woods, and I just fall onto my foot, and break my foot. Like, it was just the most immediate payback of all time, like instant karma. And then I have to army crawl back to the truck.
Oh.
And I get there and like get into the truck, and I'm like, my foot's broken. And they're like, no, it's not, it's fine. Because neither of them, you know, they're like, we didn't know how to go to the fucking hospital right now with this bitch. I wasn't dating either of them at the time. They're like, we're not even fucking this girl. We're going to have to deal with her shit.
You're fine.
So, yeah. So they're like, you're fine. Meanwhile, I'm like seeing the swelling, and I know exactly how it feels to break your foot, you know.
Right.
I just know that the pinky toe's not moving, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And so they take me to the hospital and it's broken.
Ugh.
And so I wasn't drunk either. So I broke my foot peeing in the woods, drunk falling down the stairs as a juvenile delinquent, and 12 years old trying to be an Olympian.
Oh.
What got you into swimming?
I think they just picked that for us. You know, I have a twin brother and older brother.
Okay.
They just wanted us to do a sport, and so yeah. I mean, I played baseball. My mom was like really always used to talk about how she wanted to be a boy. You know, my mom was like the OG trans, but she was like she always like wished she was a boy. She was like, when I was a kid, I used to put my hair in a baseball cap and go up to the park, and nobody would let me play. You know, they scram, girl, get out of here. I'm like, I think that was a scene from A League of Their Own. My mom just made this shit up.
You're like, you fell asleep watching
And
a
I'm
movie.
like, bitch, what are you? Did this even happen?
You made a memory.
It's just like a recovered memory.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. But I'm like, so as a kid, so I have a twin brother and an older brother who's 3 years older, and they were playing baseball. So my mom's saying this over and over again, and I'm like, oh, I guess that means, and my mom's the coach. So I'm like, I guess I should play on the boys' team, right? Because my mom keeps being like, you're so lucky because you could play on the boys' team.
Right.
So I joined the boys' team. My mom's my coach, me and my brother's coach. This bitch trades me to another team. I'm like just doing it to like be near her. She pulled some strings. Like, you can't even trade in fucking Little League.
No.
But she was also the president of the league, so she's like, I'm gonna make an exception for my own daughter.
Oh.
She trades me. I like needed her too, because I was 11. I just got my period too, so it was like, I was just like in hell, you know? And so I remember getting my period. I was pitching and I got my period on the mound. I'd like run to the porta potty.
So
Oh.
you had mound on.
I'd leave a
Double
trail
mound.
of fucking blood.
Oh.
And yeah, I mean, I didn't even remember. I had blocked that out, and then some kid years later that found me on the internet from Little League was like, do you remember when your mom traded you from Little League and you just cried the whole time? And I'm like, no.
What
And I
a
was like,
shithead.
Mom, why'd you trade me? And she's like, I thought it'd be good for you. And I'm like, no, you thought it'd be good for you, bitch.
Yeah.
Right?
But now I realize what it was, and I do love my mom, but I'm like realizing a lot of her shit. But she wanted to be the only girl. Like, she wanted the attention to be like the only girl on the team. So she didn't want me to have it.
So it was like a league of your own.
It
like-
was. But like, she was like, you're just cramping my style. I'm supposed to be the only
Yeah.
coach.
You weren't supposed to learn from my stories. You
Exactly.
were
You were
just
supposed to give me attention for them.
Yeah.
She joined our swim team too. That was awkward.
Oh.
As a grown up. As a fucking grown up.
Oh, it's like moms that do pageants with their kids.
It was so weird, and it wasn't like for us, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, you
We had
should
the
give her a
same thing.
tiara.
She's so silly.
Oh.
She wrote all my papers for me too.
Didn't she?
Yep, until college. Until my last 4 papers in college.
Oh.
I've written a lot of my nieces and nephews' papers throughout the years.
It's just like she wrote all of them. I never learned how to do it on my own. You should be careful with that. Because I really still struggle with that, like with the confidence to get stuff done.
Right.
Like, you gotta learn, like, I think the lesson that I needed to learn was like that I was like good enough, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, if she'd just been like, you're good, this is good, I would have been like, I can finish it. But
Yeah.
instead she's like, I'll just do it. And then I'm like getting C's. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? I probably would have got an A if I wrote it.
And you never had the inkling to like try and write it and then turn yours in instead of hers?
Instead of hers, well, she would just take it. It was like it just became like a weird thing that I felt like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get
I
that.
just was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then she was writing them like in college, dude.
Mm.
And then I finally like had to finish up. I had gotten all the completes and my college was going out of business.
Uh-huh.
And I get this email from my art teacher. I'm living in New York. I had 4 incompletes. I'm living in New York. I just quit drinking. I just started doing comedy. And I get an email from my old art teacher, Susan York, who's like this amazing artist. She's like so successful and so talented and so awesome. And she goes, I just want to let you know that the school, that's right there, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can feel it, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
That's so good.
What's a scientific term? Bumpies.
I love it. She's talking about my herpes for the listeners.
Surprise!
JK, don't have herpes yet. I'll get it in my
Be careful.
40s.
It's
I
all
was
in
gonna
the
say,
comedy store.
yeah, like you still have hope.
I mean, I just figure if like you're a single touring comedian in your 40s or 50s, like you got that shit.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
something.
I completely agree with you.
Which also like herpes ain't shit, so it's
Yeah.
not that big a deal. But
I have many questions for Kurt McCowan now. Court McCowan.
did he say he has it?
No, but now I'm just like, you've been touring a long time and you're single.
He's so hot.
Yeah.
So hot.
You hope he has some hit against him.
Yeah, you're like, I need you to
Web
be not
toes.
perfect.
He's so fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
Court, what the dick? And did you see him? And he was in like Teen Wolf and shit, the original
Uh-huh.
movies. Not as hot, dude.
No.
He's so much hotter now. Like he used to dye his hair, and I'm like, Court, nothing. It's like he's like a silver fox. He's like at his best
Yeah.
looking he could possibly be.
I completely agree.
I'm so mad he's not the Trivago guy. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? Get the Trivago commercials and not Court.
That's funny. I think there's a few comedians that now that they're older, they look better.
Yeah.
And then they did, like, you see
No
old
women,
videos.
let's be honest.
Sorry?
Not women.
Mm,
That's the like inherent sexism of nature.
yeah.
Right.
We're just like, come on, like, give us something. Like, no, I feel that about Marin.
Marin
I saw,
looks so, when he was younger, he was not hot at all.
no.
He did not look like himself. He posted a picture of himself in like the 80s, and I'm like, that's not.
With those circle glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, all right, fucking nerd. He's screaming about politics. Like, get out of here. Yeah, he definitely looks his best.
Yeah.
And who else?
But silver
Smart.
foxes are in
Mm-hmm.
because there's.
Because we have daddy issues.
Right.
Whatever's in is because we're fucking it. You realize that, right?
That's
Yeah.
so true. Yes, because right now there's this one model, and he's awesome. He's a very nice guy, but he's gray, and all of these authors are just lining up to get him because they're all writing these books about silver foxes, dads marrying, and yeah. So
Are you talking about like romance novels?
yeah, I write romance
Oh,
novels.
you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom wrote romance novels but never published them. But she was in. Did you do Romance Writers of America?
I didn't, but they've courted me and they've asked me, but I'm just like, I don't have time.
Yeah. Are you published and everything?
I have 6 published, yeah.
Wow.
But it's self-published, so it doesn't count,
cool.
really.
That's awesome.
So,
My mom self-published a book about raising troubled teenagers based on being written with my therapist from high school.
Oh, no.
These pieces of shit.
That's super not allowed,
It's so
no?
fucked up.
that's yeah.
It's so fucked
You
up.
made me stutter. I don't stutter.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom has some problems.
You're
Do you
the
see
only.
her?
Yeah, I love her. I
Oh,
talk to her all
well,
the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
You're
talk
the
to her
only
too.
daughter, yeah? Or
Yeah, I'm the only daughter, but I think my mom, like, she had a tumor in her pituitary gland when she was younger, so she didn't get her period until she was, like, in her early 20s or, like, 19 or something.
Wow.
So she's really detached from femininity,
Mm.
and she's not, like, she's just always been trying to get, like, tomboy attention or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And she was very competitive with me like a sister, which I didn't realize till like very recently. Because
Right.
I always worshipped my mom. I wasn't brought up very religious, so my parents were gods, you know,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
which is like so not healthy. But I just thought they were like amazing. So all these things would happen to me, and all these bad things would happen, and rather than being like they didn't do their job, I just assumed I was like rotten.
Mm.
So I kind of took all the blame. So now I'm undoing all of that. And it's been a little bit of a struggle, you know, but we, you know, my family, we're like a pretty loving family. Or I'm loving, and I'm not willing to let my family not be together.
Yeah.
So we work it out. I'm real close with my dad now too. So, which came in a little bit later in life, but
Are your parents still together?
yeah, they are.
Okay.
They just had their 45th wedding, and they had like a recommitment ceremony.
Oh.
It was cute. It was like, oh mom, you want people to look at you? It's so funny. It was like all their friends telling them they're great. I'm like, you guys are such pieces of shit. Yeah, my mom heckled me. I was headlining in Philly. She threw this like fucking present on stage. It was like the most disrespectful. I bombed the whole show because I didn't want to. But the lesson for me was I didn't want to like hurt my mom. You know, I was putting her before me. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I didn't handle her the way I would have handled fucking anyone else.
Exactly.
Because I can handle a heckler, but when it was my mommy, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings. And it's like, she really didn't take mine into consideration, so I think I should just do it. You know, because a lot of it was like me kind of parenting them, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so now I'm like, I gotta just like flip it back. And, or, you know, be shitty parents to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to make their lives like difficult. I don't think it matters, you know?
Right.
You know, in the end, everyone just wants to like be happy and good.
Now, does she have a hard time with you being successful and?
She just doesn't like give it to me the way that I wish she would just give it to me, you know, like, and she's very like, she'll like make shirts where it's the whole family and be like, Annie's entourage. Like, she's just very like, she just tries to steal the spotlight. She's just always trying to like she wrote my papers for me, which is like a dysfunction on her end, you know, it wasn't a good thing. And then in college, so I got that, you know, the email from my teacher saying that the college is going out of business in 2 weeks. I went to the College of Santa Fe in New Mexico, and it was going out of business. I don't really know why it went out of business, when embezzled or something, but
Right.
she goes, so you have 4 incompletes, so you have 2 weeks to finish these. And then my mom was like, well, I'm not writing your papers anymore, I'm taking my life back. I'm like, you took this from me, bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I had to like pull it together and write all these papers. I was flying in and out of Santa Fe, like putting all these flights on my credit card and stuff. I mean, it was good. It felt good to complete them. I liked doing it myself.
Right.
But I was like running around and doing them, and I ended up graduating in time. But then during my graduation, my mom and all the pictures kept trying to take the diploma from me. Being like, it's mine. I did the work. It's like, you like, since I was in 4th grade, like set me up like I wasn't good enough to finish a fucking paper.
Yeah.
Made me really want to go home and like hug my kids right now. Be like,
I have the opposite. I so want to talk to your mom right now. I was like, that's so sabotagey what you did. She had 4 things to complete, and you weren't gonna help her. And you,
Well,
anyway.
I'm glad she didn't.
No, I'm
The
glad
end
she
it was
didn't
good,
too.
But
Yeah.
it was just like, don't act like I did something to you. I was a kid. You were the adult. Like, she
Yeah.
always, like, they treated me like I was their peer that should have known better with everything.
Yeah.
And, like, I ended up, you know, I don't, like, I've talked about this on every podcast, so I don't want to talk about it, and I'm kind of over everyone telling their fucking rape stories at this point.
Okay.
I don't like being in this damn hashtag, but
Yeah.
I was sexually assaulted by a teacher. My art teacher in high school, my mom would drop me off at his house to sleep over.
Oh.
And like, because his wife was my English teacher, and she was helping me, she was tutoring me, but she was just writing my papers. But they were getting me alcohol, they were grooming me,
Yeah.
me and a couple of my friends. And so then they told my mom, they went, well, it'll help them, like, it'll help her in college, like, she's gonna be going away to college, it'll help you guys, you know, to have some distance, like, you should let her sleep over.
Yeah, because it's perfectly normal.
Isn't that so crazy? And my mom was like, sure. They're like, we have an extra futon. Like, they furnished a room for me.
Oh.
So then one time I was there and nobody else was there. Like, my English teacher was like out of town or whatever, but then Greg was still there, the art teacher, dude. And I woke up and he was like watching me sleep.